Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HOTFIX. This is Unit Last Time, Stylosa, and that's Mr. Kirioth. He's that way, Mr. Kirioth.
Hello.
Hello there, Mr. Kirioth. So,
hello.
He's lost his mind. So, we are going to talk about the PlayStation 4 1 week later from the point of view of a console cabbage. So, I think the best place to start is I'll confess to my console heritage, or massive lack of heritage, then Mr. Kirioth can give us the tale of his. So, I had a SNES. I had a PlayStation 1, PS, whatever they're called, I don't know. The grey box. And then around about 97, like early 98, I had a PC, and that was it. Now, I must also point out, you may be able to tell this, I don't know, given all the branding on the channel, given my accent, and Mr. Kirioth's accent and all the rest of it, I am from the UK, or more specifically England in the UK. So that should mean that I am a console scumbag. I have FIFA and Call of Duty, and this is all I do all day long on my Xbox, because I do believe this is, or was, a Xbox country. It is now apparently a PlayStation country, but we'll get on to that. So I have no console heritage, Mr. Kirioth. I've literally had this PS4 for a week, and that is it. I know I had an Xbox 360, very briefly. I never used it, so that doesn't even count.
Which I'm very grateful for.
You've got it, yeah. It's like, what?
Yep. Well, I kind of went the opposite way, because I started out playing games on the PC with my mum. In fact, we played the original Prince of Persia, for instance.
Good.
That was.
Shit! I played that with my dad on the Amiga. Oh man,
that was a quality game.
That was a quality game. That was.
But then I ended up with a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Xbox 360. So I have had consoles, but I haven't played them as much as the PC. But I still do most of my gaming on the PC. But if there's something co-op or versus, for instance, I will usually play against my wife. Or I remember epic Soul Calibur battles during college when we had nothing to do. I remember that.
They were massively unfair as well.
Yeah, because I played the game all the time and no one else did, which was massively cheap of me. But there you go. So yeah, I've kind of got a bit of experience, but it's still relatively limited. I'm sat there for like 8 hours a day screaming abuse at other COD players, like apparently most of the UK used to do. So I've got a bit more of an idea.
Yeah.
But I have no idea as the online side of things, because I've never played a console game online.
But I suppose you're like more of like a casual. A really casual console gamer who just plays it with the odd chum, basically.
Yeah,
which is way more than I do, or have done until recently.
Yeah.
So, as the title above our head says, PlayStation 4 1 week later, this is about the PlayStation 4. We cannot talk about the Xbox One, because we don't have an Xbox One. We possibly will have one in the future, but that's most likely to do with channel content more than anything, because I can't say I specifically want an Xbox One. Although I did kind of want PlayStation 4, but I'm telling you now, I had pretty bad buyer's remorse. I bought the thing, and I'm like, should I have done this? You know, should I have really have done this? Because really, you know, I paid like £430 or something for the. In fact, I've got it here. Hang on.
Good lord!
It's like a massive box for this version, right? The Killzone Shadowfall Player Edition, right? With 2 controllers, so obviously me and Kiri can play it, and Killzone, and the camera, okay? I've got it on order, and I'm like, okay, this is great. I couldn't help but think all the stuff I could do with that kind of money to my actual computer, or even I could build a streaming rig for that kind of money, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking of this from like a business perspective. I'm like, what would be bad? At least I can cover console games now, but I know I'm a massive noob on console games, so, oh god, what's going to happen? So it turned up Mr. Kirioth, and, well, it's in front of me here, but I'm not unplugging it to wave it around on the webcam. You're just going to have to trust me. The design of it, it's not too bad. Like, I don't mind the way it looks. I don't think it particularly looks amazing. It just looks discreet enough just to hide
yeah,
away.
I'd say it looks very subtle. Because, I mean, the first time I saw it, I didn't even spot it. I was like, where is it? Oh, it's that nice. It's just a nice little black box. You don't really tend to pay that much attention to it.
No.
I quite like that, because frankly, I mean, having lived with the Xbox 360 for the past few years, I'm just going to be honest here, that thing is ugly as fuck. The original one was ugly, and the new one is still pretty ugly. It's just black
a
and
box,
ugly
isn't it?
instead of
Like
white
a
and ugly.
Betamax player.
It's just an horrible shape, and it just doesn't look very good. So the PlayStation 4, I don't think I'd complain, because you just can't tell it's there, which is quite a positive thing for me.
Well, also it's got the camera. Now, I really don't like the way the camera looks. It looks really odd. It's like this bar thing. It doesn't look like it fits with the design of the PlayStation. But I guess these are like pointless criticisms, because it's like whatever. This thing, though, this is the DualShock 4, I think. I really like this. In fact, I prefer this to my Xbox 360 controller, which I use for Dark Souls. Like, I don't know whether you can see much of a comparison there, but I prefer this controller a hell of a lot more. For whatever reason, it works way better in my hands, like way better. And it pisses me off that there's no proper driver support for PC, because I tell you what, I will be using this right away on my PC. So obviously, let's talk about the controller before I go any further. It's got a speaker here somewhere. A totally pointless addition. Like, why has it got a speaker? Yeah. It's like the worst sound quality you're ever going to hear, and I've always got headsets on, so I don't hear shit anyway. It's like, what's the point of that? The touchscreen thing, well, it isn't a touch screen, it's just like a touch-sensitive pad button thing, whatever. I mean, there isn't really any games out which really take advantage of that at the moment. Yeah. But I think, like, in terms of the games, so the first game I played was Killzone, and I, honestly, Mr. Kirioth, I've got like a massively itchy head as well. I need to see a doctor. What have I done to my hair now? Oh, fuck it. I play Killzone, and graphically, you've seen it, Mr. Kirioth, and like you had the same reaction I had. I was like, what is this? The graphics on that game.
That is a mental-looking game. It is insane how detailed that is. I mean, even just little things like the lighting and well, I say little, it's not that little, but it was like standing behind a sheet that was blowing in the wind or tarpaulin or something, and there was a searchlight on the other side. And you had the actual rays of light coming. It sounds like a small thing, but I'll be honest, I've never seen that done on the Xbox, which is what I've been primarily console gaming on. I've never seen anything like that, even remotely.
Well, I mean, you're not going to do it, because the hardware's massively better.
You just can't do it.
To me, it looked like I was playing something like Battlefield 4 on Ultra or like on High. It had that type of feeling. Like, like before, I think this is like the biggest thing for me, really. Before, like when I play Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4, no, it's 5 in it, on the Xbox. It's horrendous. It looks totally horrendous. It's blocky, it's shitty, it's like there's no anti-aliasing, there's just like the textures are diabolical and all the rest of that stuff. But that's because it's on like 6 or 7 whatever year old hardware. Garbage, right? This felt like I was playing my PC. Like, I honestly, like, I've got Assassin's Creed 4 as well. That just felt like I was playing it on my PC. If it was out on the PC, I don't know whether it's out yet. But what I'm getting at is they just feel like a PC game. It feels like I'm sitting at home playing a PC game. I'm not playing something with inadequate graphics, which I'm guessing I would get very strongly if I played the Wii U, for example. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? This is like terrible graphics. I'm not saying graphics make the game, but what I'm saying is like Killzone, and this is kind of case in point, Killzone looks graphically amazing, but is a horrendous game. Even to the extent of I think I've played Killzone for about 30 minutes, and that was it. I've not even played it since, and I threw the box over there somewhere. I do not physically want to play that game. I just don't want to play it. It's like pointless.
When I had a little go of it, one of the things that really sort of jumped out at me was the detail of the game was amazing. The way it looked was absolutely amazing. But then the characters started talking. And it's only a small thing, but when the lips move in a completely different way to where the sound's coming out, like, the guy would talk, and then half a second later, or 3 seconds later, it seemed to be totally random, the actual sound had come through. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but in a game that looks that good, that is just immersion breaking completely. Because it's like, oh my god, this is amazing, this looks fantastic. Why the fuck isn't he talking whilst his mouth's moving? Why is he talking now his mouth stopped? Why can I hear his voice here when he's all the way over there? It's just that kind of breaks it for me. That breaks the immersion of the game.
It does. I mean, I've got the feeling that they are pretty handy when it comes to graphics engines, those guys, whoever the hell they are, who made Killzone. I don't even know. I think it's a Dutch company. But the game, not very good. I've not played the other Killzone games. Some people have said to me, some of them, like Killzone 3, I think, is pretty good as a game. But and other people have said the multiplayer for this Killzone game's okay. But if I'm going to be honest again, I don't really want to play FPS games on the console. Like, to me, that's just like a pointless thing. I can't do it because I know that my mouse, ladies and gentlemen, is a vastly superior device along with my keyboard. And I'm a PC FPS player anyway, so it's like, I think like in terms of like the actual experience of when I turn the console on, it's very responsive. Like, I mean, I can like really jump through the menus really quick. Like, if you want to go back to the main screen, if you're playing some sort of a game, you just press the PlayStation button and it literally goes straight back. Like, it's really fast. And to me, I was expecting a lot of lag in that department, and it don't. So that's quite impressive. The thing that pisses me off. Oh, go on, son. Go on.
I have to say something about that I really liked was that the whole thing actually felt quite well designed. Like, everything was very smooth and very fluid, but it didn't feel like it was smooth and fluid, like, to the detriment of the actual menu itself. Because you could get to everything really easily, and it looks nice as well. That's only a small thing, because you're not going to spend a huge amount of time in the menu of a console, especially one that is, you know, primarily focused on games like the PS4 is. You might spend more time on the Xbox One dashboard, I don't know, because, you know, it's got all the sports channels and all that crap. But the PS4, it does feel very smooth and very sleek, and it looks nice as well. It's kind of... It's very uncluttered. It's just, there's the thing I want, and you can just go straight to it.
Yeah, it gets you into the game really quick. I think that's the point. Like, I mean, that's the distinction that's been made between the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Very much for gamers, the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One is more of a multimedia entertainment device, or that's what they're trying to do. But as I say, we don't have an Xbox One, so fuck, we can't comment on that shit. But the PlayStation 4, like, I mean, so Killzone was a waste of time, right? But it looked graphically impressive. Okay, you can say, well, Sly, that's a tech demo. If that's a first-generation tech demo, because we all know these consoles, the graphics get better as time goes on, as, you know, developers learn little tricks, get used to the hardware and all the rest of that stuff, and of course it's a unified platform, so they can really optimize for that. I'm expecting pretty good things from this console, okay? Currently, it's like on par with the PC, I'd say, which I guess is an okay place to start off. I think console gamers will be pretty blown away. Like, if you've only just played an Xbox 360 or a PS3, and then you load up Killzone Shadowfall, you will shit yourself. You'll be like, what's going on here? But to me, I was like, oh, this is impressive because it's on a console, but I'm used to this anyway. You know, like, I'm used to seeing this in Battlefield 4 and stuff like that. So I'm used to that level of, like, fidelity where you don't really get that in console. So that was, like, to me, that was the most impressive thing. Assassin's Creed 4... it's a fairly enjoyable game, right? Visually, it looks really nice because it's not brown. It's like vibrant colours and everything. And the game itself is pretty much... Well, I guess this could be an entire hotfix on its own. About, you know what, I'm going to go off on a tangent, fuck it, because this has got to be said. So Assassin's Creed 4, right, is... To use the phrase a polished turd would be very fucking harsh, because it's not a turd, right? But it's got so many layers of complexity that are, like, needless. It fucking drives me wild. So, you've got, like, the ship combat. Okay, that's fine, right? The ship combat's probably the best thing about the game, right? They've really built upon that. I think they realised in Assassin's Creed 3 they're onto something pretty good. So, let's fucking hammer this for Assassin's Creed 4. Pretty good, right? There are literally 1,000 icons on the minimap, right? On the world map that you can go and do little things. There's, like, way too much to do. It's like, what the hell? Maybe somebody will go around and do them all. But to me, I was like, this reminded me of Far Cry 3, where I looked at the map and I was like, I can't be arsed with any of this. Like, go and free a tiger over here. After you've done it 20 times, you're bored of doing it again. You know, and all this shit. It was like loads of that. Then you suddenly go into the real world where you're working for a company who uses the Animus tech to, like, make entertainment, and you're researching this pirate guy. And that had a shitload of detail. The office, it looked like something out of, like, Deus Ex. Like, it looked amazing. I'm like, what? Yeah. But, like, it's, like, pointless shit. I ain't going to spend much time there. But I'm walking around for, like, 10 minutes in this place thinking, what? What? How much detail has gone on here? Like, to me, it just felt like I know they've got multiple studios working on it, and it is one of the flagship games for Ubisoft, but it just felt like, look, all I want is a game where I can fucking assassinate people, right, and really focus on the assassination. I don't care about all these weapon upgrades. I don't care about all this armor and shit I can put on. I don't care about all these stupid Mayan statue side quest Aztec shit. I don't care about 1,000 fucking loots of chest shit everywhere. And it was just driving me wild. But that's often a bit of a tangent. But I feel like they've, like, I couldn't help but feel there's wasted talent.
There's too many layers, too many layers of complexity built into the game. I mean, that has slowly been happening with that series. I mean, the problem that I had was that Revelations, I think, balanced it quite well. Assassin's Creed 3 just got it completely wrong. There was just so much shit you didn't know what to do.
I'd only played Assassin's Creed 3. This is the thing. You've played the other ones. You know, so
Yeah,
I'm like,
Assassin's Creed 3 was terrible. I hated it.
yeah, I thought it was terrible. I thought it was terrible as well. So when I
Yeah.
got Assassin's Creed 4, I wasn't expecting much, but I have played it for quite a bit. A couple of hours I've put into it. I think, what was I, like 15% through or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that was just
No,
after
I
the
tend to-
tutorial.
I tend to get those on the consoles, but because I saw it on the PS4 at yours, I now almost don't want to get it for the Xbox 360 because it looks that much better than I know it will on the 360.
Yeah.
Like, I was impressed. That's one thing that the PS4 actually has just really impressed me with. I know this shouldn't be something to be impressed by because it's built on like current hardware, so it should be able to make games look amazing. Because, you know, all the other consoles are massively old, so of course they won't be able to. But I think, even as a very casual console gamer, I've got very used to the way that console games look compared to when I play something on this PC. And they look like arse. And then I play a game on the PC and it looks amazing. And so actually seeing Assassin's Creed as a good example on the PS4, I now don't even want to buy it for the 360 because I'm just going to sit there and I'll literally be playing it thinking, this could be so much better if I had a PS4. Which is, it's good, but it also does give a very good example of just how much I think the PS4 and the Xbox One are needed at this point. Because they are now producing games that look and feel like PC games. Because PC games have developed and console games just haven't. They've tried to, but they've been so massively constrained that it's just like,
I think,
why
like,
bother trying?
I think, like, we'll come off Assassin's Creed now because this isn't really about that. But I think that the game, it is a decent launch title, and it's probably one of the better games I've got. I don't have Knack, and apparently Need for Speed Rivals is being sent my way, but I don't know about that either. We all know that I had some pretty bad problems on the PC and all the rest of that stuff. So
Yeah.
But I think, like, it is an enjoyable game. It's just got too much shit going on like that. It just doesn't need. It's a game about assassinations, or that's what I thought it was. Not a game about sailing the fucking sea for 20 hours, going and fucking solving Aztec mysteries or something. It's like, what the hell is this? Like, it's just weird. I think, like, this. I guess this. The biggest negative is the games. To be honest, right? If I cannot go out and say to you now, yes, I 100% recommend you buy a PlayStation 4, okay? The positives are you're going to get visuals that are on par with PC at the moment, okay? Which is impressive. You know, 1080p, decent quality, okay? And no frame drops either. Like, it was really smooth every game I've played. I've never had any lag or any of that shit. It has no games. This is the problem. Like, you've got Killzone, you've got Assassin's Creed, I think you've got some Lego games, you've got some free-to-play games like Warframe and all the rest of it, which is probably better on PC anyway. Blah, 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 blah. The game I've played the most is a free game from PSN, which is Resogun, which is a twin-stick shooter. Now, this is like, no disrespect to them, but that is not a big launch title game. That's just like a little spaceship shooter game. You know, I know you've seen it, Kiri, and you were quite impressed with like all the pixels and shit because it is like, whoa.
Oh yeah, it looks insane. I mean, again, it's down to the ability of the PS4 to display that kind of, you know, graphical detail. But it looks fantastic when you're sitting there actually watching it.
Yeah.
But it's not a AAA game. It's not like a massive.
It's just like another tech demo, ain't
publisher.
it? It just feels like another tech. It's like, look at this. We can do this many particles. It's like Knack. I think Knack does something with the bloody, like all the cubes and shit the guy's made of, or something. You know, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I think at this point, I feel like I've bought a device for like 430 odd quid, which has one game called Killzone, which shows me how detailed and the special lighting effects and the high resolution textures. I then feel there's another game called Resogun, which shows me how it can handle a shitload of particles on the screen. And then I feel there's a game called Assassin's Creed, which is like, I guess the weaker of the two graphically, although obviously it's better graphically than Resogun, but it doesn't have the crazy particle effect thing going on. But
yeah,
like it's sort of like, I don't know, I guess it's a bit hard to explain, but it just feels like that's the only like game, you know,
it's like
that
I would
got
expect. 2 tech demos and 1 bit of entertainment.
Yeah, and it's only a bit of entertainment. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. So,
yeah,
I don't know, I guess like, I think Oh, and actually, that PSN, which I didn't really know much about, where you pay the monthly subscription and you get free games, is pretty fucking good. I've got to say that is pretty fucking good. I don't think any of the games have been announced for December for the PlayStation 4 yet. And some people were saying they might not announce any games for December because they only usually do one game a month. And it started off with two because there's a game called Contrast, which I guess is another game I haven't touched on. So this is like it's like a puzzle platformer game from what I could tell. But again, I only played this for a little bit. And actually, this did seem to have some performance issues, which was kind of weird because it was running on the Unreal Engine. It felt laggy to me. And it looked a bit shit as well. Like the graphically didn't look very well, but it had this interesting like mechanic where you could blend into the shadows on the wall and then use the shadows like a little like a 2D platform inside a 3D world. I don't know, but it's nothing really. That's like whatever. But you got that, and you got Resogun for the PSN for launch month. Nothing's been announced yet. I'm hoping they will, because. Give me something else to play, please. It's like at this point I'm pretty much gagging for something to play. Like I do not feel like I've like honestly I've played Resogun and I've played it on the hardest difficulty and I've got to the fucking last level, right? So what else am I going to do? I can try and play Resogun to get a higher score, but like I don't want to keep playing it over and over again. I'm like, that's it. I'm done with that game now.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like I don't want to turn it on and play it, which is stupid. It's a games console.
That from what I saw when I was there and I was messing about with it, it feels like it's an unobtrusive, nicely designed device. It's nice and quick. It's got, you know, it can handle some really nice looking graphics, and it feels like a really good experience when you going through the menus and when you're looking at different games. And the voice commands can be a bit dodgy.
Oh,
but, like that'll probably improve over time as the system's patched and things, and you know, little things are ironed out. Overall, it feels like quite a nice system. And it does feel like something that maybe in a couple of months would be well worth picking up. But from what I saw, it is very much a case of you've got this device that has a lot of potential, but at the moment there's nothing using it. Like there's just nothing to play. It's like once you've completed like 3 games, 4 at a push, that's it. You just got to wait. And if you're someone who's gone out and bought a console at launch, the chances are you've bought it because you want to hammer the games that are out for it. And unless you're willing to sit there and do every collectible and 100% everything all the way through, get all the achievements, all the trophies, whatever it is, you're going to run out of stuff to do very quickly.
It's like I just feel it has suffered from like, and I think the Xbox One's in this camp as well, from like because I mean they had Rise, which was a terrible game, but at least it was a different IP. Like it suffered from, there's no like killer launch game for this. There's no like, Kiri, you need a PlayStation 4 because you've got to play Super Aliens fucking Death Beam. It's the best game you've ever seen. There's none of that shit. It's like you said to me, should I get a PS4? And I'm like, it's a good console and it's probably got a pretty bright future, but at the moment it has no games and it has no like. You would be better off going and buying a PlayStation 3 if you want a frigging PlayStation, and buying like things like The Last of Us, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, all them bloody games, because there's way more entertainment to be had there. This, at the moment, is a nice, shiny plastic box with a stupid poxy camera. We're not going to talk about Playroom because that's terrible. And I was impressed with the graphics of Killzone. I was impressed with Assassin's Creed, really, but it's not a game I'm really going to sit down and 100% because I'm not a brain-dead idiot. And what else? We've got Resogun and fucking mental particle effects, which actually I feel like if that was on the PC, and like if the CPU or whatever was trying to calculate all the little things, it would just destroy the PC. So maybe that's what that was showing off. Oh, look at that fancy little processing thing we can do. But, you know, that it's not enough. It is not enough for me to go out and say, Kiri, like I just said, I can't just sit and go, Kiri, go and buy a PS4. This game is amazing. We need to play this game together. There's none of that. And, you know, I mean, so what games have you got? I think we've got Lego. I think you've got Call of Duty. You've got FIFA. I think the Lego game looks fairly funky, but it's like, you know, whatever, a Lego game. No Drive Club, which was going to be a launch title, which could have been quite good because that did look fairly good. It's that big like online racing thing. You know, maybe that could have been a game where I said, Kiri, we need to get this because I know you're well into cars. You know, I like cars, but I know you're into them, and I could I've not played any kind of racing game for ages and ages. Now, like I said, I've got a controller, so probably would make more sense to do that. Oh, I've just turned it on. Look, the bees, come on, go away.
Did you get the crazy massive light on the back that's totally unnecessary?
Yeah, I fucking hate it. That's the other thing about this controller as well. This light thing, all it does is waste the battery. great. So yeah, I don't know. It's a week later, and I feel like now I have a paperweight on my desk, really, to be honest, because I'm like, there isn't really anything I really want to play on it. I've had I've had about 15, 16 hours of entertainment out of it over the week, which I guess is okay. But I think I'm looking forward to the future, or seeing what's actually going to come out.
Yeah. I feel like sort of as we get into the new year, really more than any, I think as we get into the new year, it's going to go from being a device with quite a lot of potential to actually being something that you would want. I think at the moment there's just not enough to hold it to make it worth the purchase. Basically, it's like it might be all well and good, and the menu might be nice and shiny, but
I think it's just a case of I've got a PS4 at launch, which is great.
I think
but
if you wait, you're probably going to get a little bit cheaper, and there will be more games for it. And the other thing as well is that when it comes to launch games, the other thing that I kind of thought I'm fairly sure Call of Duty Ghosts that's on 360, right? And PS3, and FIFA is also on those and PC, and Black Flag is also on those and PC. It's like there's only really one really big launch title, and it
well, I mean, if you
great,
go down that
doesn't seem
path,
all that impressive.
If you go down that track, like you said about Assassin's Creed, not getting it for your 360, well, to be honest, you may as well, because even though it's going to look better on the PS4, why go and spend £400 on a PS4 and then 50 quid on the game when you could just spend 50 quid on the game? You know,
you're either better getting most of the games that are currently available for the next gen consoles on your current console, or not getting them at all and waiting until they've dropped in price and there's more games. I mean, maybe the price isn't that much of an issue, but they just need more games. That's basically what it comes down to. It's not enough to hold up to the fact that
there was that Poxy Polygon review, which was fucking laughable, where they just said, "Oh, it's a great console, but we'll give it like 7 out of 10 because it ain't got no games." It's like, but that's not a review of the console.
It's nothing to do with the console. The console itself is really good. I think the console's fantastic from what I've seen.
It
from the way it feels,
really
the way
good.
it looks.
Yeah.
But it's just there's nothing to actually use it.
No game.
You know, that's the issue.
So how could you base a review and go, "Oh, well, I think it's only 7 out of 10 because yes." I mean, if you compared this to a PS3, just off the hardware, I suppose. I mean, I don't have a PS3, so this is a pretty fucking ludicrous statement for me to make. This would destroy it completely. Yeah, it would be 10 out of 10, but it has no games. So then that brings it down, but it's garbage. So I think this is the start of a journey, because I have never had a console at launch, and I've got one now. So who knows, in maybe 2-3 years' time, this thing could be my main gaming device. I just don't know. But at least I've got that option there now, you know. And I don't know,
it's going to be really good to watch it as stuff comes out for it, because we've seen what it can do at launch. As more time goes by, and as more techniques are developed, and as engines are updated, or new graphics engines are written, all this kind of thing, hopefully we're going to see really, really, really impressive stuff. Killzone is very impressive graphically.
Yeah.
But just think, if that's how it is now, imagine what games could be like in 6 months' time on that. It could be ridiculous, and I think that's almost the only reason that you would buy one right now, which is to say, I was there at the start and look how good it is now 6 months later. Otherwise, it's just, it's basically bragging rights.
Actually,
it's going to be
I'm just trying to think of what games are coming out, because I was just thinking to myself in my head, that Knack game was like this is our new game, which hilariously outsold Mario, which is kind of funny. But that's like, whatever, that's apparently not that good. I think Destiny's coming out, though.
Destiny,
that could be a pretty good...
Is it The Division?
Yeah, Tom Clancy's The Division as well.
That looked really quite something special, actually. I think that was one of the games where I looked at it and I was like, if it doesn't come out on PC, I think I would actually buy an next-gen console for that.
Well, I guess, to be honest,
really
talking about this, the Xbox One, from a complete gaming point of view, probably, if you want games straight away at launch, might be a better option than a PS4, because you get Dead Rising 3, which is like an okay game. You get Rise, Son of Rome, and you get Forza 5, right? I know you can get Forza 5 on the previous gen consoles, but there's 3 games there which are kind of like unique to that platform. Well, they are totally unique. The PS4 had Knack and like Killzone, which is an unplayable bag of crap. And I don't know. So I don't know, but you can probably tell I'm massively unqualified to comment on these things now. Hopefully this will change as the months go by, as the years go by. And I'm quite interested to see how this goes. And what I want to know off you guys is, if you've got a PS4, do you agree? What has been your experience? Have you got an Xbox One? what's been your experience? Have you got a Wii U? I guess it's considered a Nintendo next gen console, although it's hardly in the league of the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Any famous last words, Mr. Kirioth?
No, I'd say leave comments. We like reading comments. Comment. Tell us. We must know.
Okay, we'll get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed HOTFIX. If you liked the video, then like the video, and as we said, make sure you comment below. I've been Stylosa, and that chap over there is some other guy. I don't know who he is. He just turns up every now and again, and we'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.